Has Pakistan built up a position to challenge India right here in Bay of Bengal? How is China facilitating it and also building up their string of pearls? And most importantly, why Bangladesh is going to have a very important role to execute China and Pakistan's play? And in the end, the most important question, can India actually tackle this threat? Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh, and in today's session we are going to talk about that how Pakistan has procured something that might be a start of challenge to India, especially in Bay of Bengal. We will also be looking into that how this is a bigger gameplay where China is involved and Bangladesh also has a clear role to play. Now let us begin with understanding that where is this conversation starting from? Where are we analyzing that this potential that Pakistan has to reach, especially India's eastern coastline? So when we are looking at this situation, this has emerged just after when Pakistan Naval Operation has done the induction of Chinese-built Hangor-Class Submarines. Now, as of now, if you look at Pakistan's presence, it is limited to Arabian Sea. So, if we are talking about Indian coastline, we have Arabian Sea on one side, we have Bay of Bengal on the other side, and Pakistan naval operations, they are not only limited to Arabian Sea, just north of Arabian Sea. And this is based on their naval capabilities. But the moment they have inducted this new class of submarine, it is signaling that Pakistan might also want to mark their presence on the eastern coast of our country. But the question here is how just this one submarine is going to change how Pakistan operates, facilitate their presence here, and also why India is concerned about it. And then we also need to understand, can India actually tackle the threat when and so it emerges? As of now, what we are looking at is a threat, a potential threat that might emerge on our eastern front. So first for that we need to understand that why our eastern front is of great strategic significance. So when we are looking at Bay of Bengal region, now the first point here is Visakhapatnam. So when we are looking at Visakhapatnam, we have to understand that this is the place which is the headquarter of India's eastern fleet. So this is a very important base for us, and as it falls on the eastern coastline itself. Apart from that, when we are looking at this big region in front of us, you might be able to clearly see we are also looking at Andaman and Nicobar Islands right here. So their presence is also of great strategic significance, not just commercially, not just in terms of tourism, but this is where we have to understand that Andaman Nicobar is a command center and it happens to be only integrated tri-service command. Now, why we have a command present right here? You will be getting your answer about the fact that we are looking just over Strait of Malacca. Now, this is our presence of command which monitors this very important strait, not just for global trade, this is the most important strait for China as well. So this is where our monitoring becomes important, it becomes strategic. We are the ones who will be looking after the movement here. It gives us a very strategic position because of Andaman Nicobar Islands. Now, we have two additional reasons here as well. First, we have in those two additional reasons, INS Varsha. Now, when we are looking at INS Varsha, why it is an added benefit? Because it is an upcoming strategic submarine base which is going to support nuclear deterrence as well. So, this is where we have a submarine base. It is present with capabilities which might be able to survive nuclear attacks as well. So, this gives us nuclear deterrence as well. And when we are looking at the eastern flank, we have to understand that sea lanes of communication are also concentrated in these regions. Basically, the undersea cables which are carrying your data, internet, they are running right here. So strategically, this region, I am not saying western region is not important, but eastern region has a lot to offer and a lot of resources are established right here and they have a very strategic use. And when we are looking at this particular place, when we are thinking about that Pakistan might gain presence here, we have to think about how Pakistan might get it, and we also have to think about how to stop it. So when we are looking at how Pakistan might be able to reach Bay of Bengal, the how here first is answered by the recent induction, where we have seen the first Hangor-Class submarine has been inducted by Pakistan, whereas 7 others are still being built up by China, and they are going to be gradually inducted. And this is not something a new innovation. This is based on Yuan-class submarine which China owns. Now the biggest problem with this submarine that is going to threat India is the Air Independent Propulsion. Now let me explain to you what does this mean. So when we are looking at conventional submarines, they have to frequently come up to the surface, and if they have to come up to the surface, their detection is higher, survivability is lesser. But when we have air independent propulsion, this allows remaining under waters for more than 3 weeks. At least for 3 weeks and more than 3 weeks. So in this context, that means they would have to resurface lesser, the possibility of detection is lesser, and survivability in this context enhances. And this is where we get to see that Hangor-class submarines for Pakistan are going to be a game changer for them. They not only come with AIP, they have long range deployment capabilities, heavyweight torpedoes on them, and anti-ship cruise missile as well. So in this context, you might be able to establish that why AIP matters, because when we are looking at Bay of Bengal, our prized possession right here, strategic significance that we have just talked about, this deployability, long range deployability, AIP, all of this anti-ship cruise missile not only allows the presence of Pakistani submarine here, it also makes all of this that we have just discussed extremely vulnerable. And in this very context, we have to understand that it is not just Pakistan which might be contributing directly to this potential threat. We also have 2 other players contributing to it. The first, definitely China. We can't forget string of pearls in this context. And unfortunately, we have another neighbor added to this list, that is Bangladesh. Now let us try to understand that how both of them are going to contribute to this particular cause, and we might expect more worrisome issues in future. So first of all, when we are talking about China, we know that China's influence is growing China is intentionally growing its influence in Indian Ocean region. And when we are looking at it, we have to understand why China is doing that. First, it is Strait of Malacca, a very important significant strait for China. China is extremely dependent on crude oil and natural gas, which comes from Middle East, West Asia, and that is through Strait of Malacca. That is why China is very much interested not just in BRI but also road initiatives so as to ensure their dependence is limited on Strait of Malacca. Initiatives such as enabling of ports in Bangladesh, Gwadar port in Pakistan, and more. But these ports which are being coming up from China's end and encircling India, that is what I was pointing out to you in terms of string of pearls. Now when we have understood this, the basic idea that how China has operated, let us understand more through the context of this situation. As of now, China has also built BNS Pekwa. Now BNS Pekwa has been supplied to Bangladesh. So China has built BNS Pekwa. Now what is this? BNS Pekwa is a submarine base. Where it is located? It is located in Bangladesh. China has not only built a submarine base, they have also supplied submarine to Bangladesh. And China has upgraded Chattogram and also Mongla port, which we have recently discussed that how this was a port that was supposed to be built by India, and finally it is in Chinese hand. And that is not all. It is not just about China and Bangladesh's cooperation. We also have to understand that how when Pakistan and Bangladesh did not see eye to eye since 2024, they are also expanding their defense cooperation. Now we have 3 entities all together forming a triangle right here. Now why is this very sum? Bangladesh has a submarine base here. Even if Pakistan brings their submarine in Bay of Bengal, it would need maintenance, it would need repairs, it would need a pit stop Where can be that pit stop? That pit stop can become Pekua. And this is why it is become problematic. If Bangladesh is siding with China, if Bangladesh is siding with Pakistan, this is a very clear threat which is emerging, which can facilitate Pakistan's naval presence in Bay of Bengal for longer, much facilitated, much easier, and threatening all our naval and strategic assets present there. Now we have understood the threat, let us understand if India can tackle this threat. So for that, let us have a straight up comparison when we are looking at that what we have in terms of ammunition, especially in terms of submarine capability. So when we are looking at India, first we are looking at nuclear powered ballistic missile submarines, which is SSBN. The number we have 3. We have INS Arihant, Arighat and INS Ardhiman. First it was inducted in 2016. Which was the first one to be inducted? Can you let me know in the comment section? Now when we are looking at diesel electric submarines, that is SSK, we have Kalvari class, which is Scorpion class, and number we have 6. This has been built with France. It was inducted in 2017 and there are plans to build SSK with Air Independent Propulsion, and the older ones will also be retrofitted with AIP. Apart from that, we have Shishumar class, the number is 4, it has German origin. These are ideal for anti-surface, anti-submarine warfare, gives us great endurance, and it also has anti-ship cruise missiles. And last but definitely not the least, the Sindhu Ghosh class, which we have from Russian origin, the number is 7. These are attack submarines which have been inducted since 1986. This is what is competing against Pakistan when we are looking at Hangor class, which has been just one as of now. These are still diesel electric submarines, the high point being AIP, and we also have Khalid class with Pakistan. The number happens to be 3. So the number here are sadly discouraging to what potential threat we are talking about, but we have to also take in consideration that how addition here is possible and what else can be partnered up with this, because when we are looking at China, number is way bigger. When we are looking at SSBN 6, when we are looking at SSK, numbers 13, when we are looking at SSN, number 9, and Yuan class 20 plus. This is the class variant which is being supplied to Pakistan as Hangor class. Now, so in this context, Pakistan might be lacking down, but China doesn't. So we also have to rely on other strengths that we have, such as layered maritime surveillance. It is not just our attacking capability, but our surveillance capability, which has been growing, such as P8I maritime patrolling aircraft. When we are looking at naval satellites, surface combatants, and especially anti-submarine helicopters, sonar networks. So the detection and surveillance is a great added advantage to us. We have already discussed the underwater fleet present with us, and then we cannot let go of the advantageous geography which we have in form of clear strength when we are looking at the Andaman Nicobar command. Integrated tri-service command which continuously monitors not just Eastern Indian Ocean but also the Strait of Malacca. So yes, this is a potential threat looming. India should look into enhancing what they have in terms of strength and working on the weakness so that this potential threat does not become a real one in coming time. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section. I'll be leaving you here with a prelims practice question. Let me know the answer to this in the comment section. I'll be waiting for your answers. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.